Hi, my name's Michelle Daly, and I'm 72 years old. I've been a single parent and a carer for most of my adult life. So although caring doesn't define me, it certainly shaped my life. I also have a son and a daughter in their 40s who live in different parts of the country, so I don't get to see them as often as I'd like to. So today, I'd like to talk about caring for someone at home, really, and how difficult it can be, how isolating, how tiring, and how to fight for a care package. Yeah, all those things combined into one, it can just be exhausting. So that's what I'd like to talk about, really, and to reach out to other parents so that we can share ideas and support each other, give information. So I'll tell you what happened to me in 2017. I wasn't very well. I'd had diabetes for a long time. I also developed polymyalgia rheumatica, which is an autoimmune disease. I'd had a knee replacement. I have arthritis. So I wasn't very well, and I only had 16 hours a week care. So I thought, I did ask for more, but they said no. So I thought, I'm going to have to secure my daughter's future in some way. So she was accepted in a place, a residential home, where she'd gone for respite, which seemed to ease the situation because I knew she was going to familiar people and familiar surroundings. Nevertheless, it was still hard. So off she went. And when somebody goes away, it's very difficult because although it's nice, I know she's gone to pastures greener and she's going to be happy. You still feel guilty. You know, you feel like you should do the caring until you drop dead. So I went home. I did feel I grieved for her. I felt quite guilty. And then something sad happened. The parents began to complain about her noise because she screeches. You know, she has autism, severe learning disability, and she does screech if she gets frustrated. So the parents began to complain about her noise, and she was evicted. So that was just threw me because I've made all these plans, gone through all this sadness, and we were back to square one. So the alternative would be to go and live in a house in the community. That's what the social worker suggested, but I said no because the same thing would happen. She would become noisy, the neighbours would complain, she'd have to leave, it would fall through again. And then the other alternative is like crisis, where she'd go into a psychiatric hospital, and there was no way she was going in there. So I brought her home. The good thing about that, in the end, it's like every cloud has a silver lining, was that it was just before lockdown. So she wasn't isolated in a home, away from home. She was able to come home and spend her time with us. You know, a lot of parents were just, it must have been so difficult for them where they couldn't visit and their children couldn't go home. But for us, it was a blessing in disguise. So it took about 3 months to sort out the care package. Then she came home and I was given 20 hours a day. And although that sounds great, and it was, my daughter really needed a 2-to-1 because she's in a wheelchair, and also her behaviour can be quite difficult. So what happens is, certain parts of the day I don't have staff and I'm left to do the care. But also, when I took on this package, I took on other roles. I became a manager. I did the wages, dealt with the compassionate HMRC, lots of things. You know, it was quite difficult, really. But what happens was, when I'm on my own, twice she's fallen, just where her knees have given in. And I've had to ring staff to come in and help me lift her off the floor. And strangely enough, what happened a few weeks ago was she fell again. And when I rang the staff, they were both out of the city, away, very apologetic, but just couldn't be here. So I tried to lift her myself, and oh my goodness, something snapped in my back. And so painful. And I really got a fright because I thought, if that's, you know, you hear people say, oh, I've got a bad back, I fell when I was younger, and it's, once you get a bad back, that's it. So I was really upset over that. So I went to the GP and he said, no, it's nothing serious. You've pulled a muscle, and 2 weeks to a month, because it was quite painful, you should be back to normal. And then I thought, well, I'm going to have to, if I can't lift her anymore, and if I can't lift her, I shouldn't expect the staff to lift her. So I went in search online of a hoist that lifted somebody off the floor or anything that would help and take the pressure off. And I came across this amazing thing. You'll be stripping off and everything in my future movies. Honestly, you probably won't want yourself. If you have someone in your family that falls, you probably will want one yourself because it's such a help and no pressure and works on its own. Hi, I just wanted to say it's not all doom and gloom, my life, Honestly, I'm quite an optimistic person, really I am. And I try to do something positive every day, just to make the most of every day. How about you? Do you do crafting or any particular hobbies at home? I started to do decoupage, and when I have the energy, I really enjoy it. And I'll just show you some of the things I've done. This is, I say it's Our Lady. It's a coffee jar, but I did that one on. This one is a Christmas bottle, an old wine bottle, and you can still fill it and give it to somebody as a present that you don't like. This is another. I think this was the first one I did, a Christmas bottle. So I'm a bit sentimental about this one. And then I have this one, which is just nothing special, just did the thing, and not for any special event. I mean, I just stuck the flowers in it. So how about you? You see, we carers, we have many hats, but we tend to wear one. So I think it's a good thing that you just get motivated and force yourself if you have to. That's what I've had to do sometimes, force myself to do things. Otherwise, sometimes you can feel like a maid. You're just waiting to be called to see to somebody. And although it is a labour of love and we adore our children, you've got to be a bit kinder to yourself and do things. I also collect Bronte memorabilia. I've got loads of copies, different copies I collect of Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights, and a few other tidbits. I've been to Howard a few times and taken loads of photos there. I've really enjoyed it. So that's all I've got to say, really. This is my first video and it's been quite hard for me because I know I'm pretty useless, and hopefully with practice I'll get used to it. So I'd love to hear what you do.